So the main ingredients of brand plan may vary from person to person or brand plan to brand plan, but there are certain you can say that aspects which are permanent. तो आज हमारा जो ब्रांड प्लान की प्रेजेंटेशन है, इसको मैं सिर्फ बुलेट्स में आपसे शेयर करूंगा, बल्कि आई विल बी शेयरिंग द स्लाइड्स एग्जैक्टली हम ब्रांड प्लान को बनाते कैसे हैं और प्रेजेंट कैसे हैं. Secondly, I'd request you to note down the bullet points, take notes from today's presentation, because after the class, I will give you an assignment that you will have to make a brand plan by your own. The benefit would be that most of the time when we are being called for an interview in the company, especially at entry level, what they ask us, they give us assignment. They give us assignment to make a brand plan. Maybe like they will give one of their products to you, or they will give a product which is yet not being launched in Pakistan, a molecule which is not being launched, and they'll ask you to present this in the second part of the interview. Again, some people try to take help of others while making this presentation, but that is the worst type, because after a week or 3 days or 4 days, how many the days they have assigned to prepare this, when you will be going for the second time and when you will be presenting the brand plan, if you have not made it yourself, then you will be caught, because they will be asking questions from you during the slides. And if you have not made it yourself, you would not be knowing that what is the source of this slide, what is the source of this data, or why I have put this data here, why I have put these inferences. So ultimately, you have to make the brand plan yourself. No matter, definitely everybody understands that you are at beginning level, so they would not expect an in-depth brand plan. But whatever you make it yourself. Can you please go to the slide share? Okay, so let's begin session number 2. First, tell me one thing. Can you hear me clearly? The voice is clear. Screen is clear. Tell me by raising hands or in chat. Yes. Okay. So as per schedule or as per agenda, we are. Thank you. So today's agenda is to discuss brand plan and its ingredients, including situation analysis, market analysis, secondary data analysis, and then developing the strategies, getting inferences from these data, and so on. Okay, before commencing my discussion on brand plan, I would like to recommend you a book, and its name is 22 Immutable Laws of Brand. This is a very good book. It's more about consumer brands, but it will give you a good idea. What I have done that I have selected some of its laws to share with you. Always remember, when you read a book, try to get knowledge from it. But number one, don't get inspired to do the same thing in your own industry. And the second thing, don't believe in everything. Okay, because that is the opinion of an author. He may or she may be right with some aspects, or there are some aspects where you may differ from the author. Okay, next slide. Okay, so law number 1, the law of leadership. This is a wonderful law, and I like it. This is very much important for new launches, because when you are launching a new product, you do a lot of research work before that. And if you choose a product, for example, like you are entering into a market where no other product is available, like or products are available, but with the features that you are presenting, no one else is having that kind of features in their product, or you can develop a subcategory and you will be entering as the first product in that segment, then that will be very much beneficial. Okay, first, then better, then comes. If you are the first, then you will have the first mover advantage. Whereas if you are entering into a market where there are competitors, then you will have to prove yourself that you are better, you are cost effective, you are having better services, and then people will adapt. Likewise, easier to get into your customer's mind versus competition, because there is no other product for that segment. Again, because I'm very much impressed from this young girl who has invented the saving machine for blind. Like no other product is available for the blind to sue. Okay, so the saving machine is something which has entered into a new market. This is first in its class. This is definitely a new class. And then convincing them that your product is better, like convincing customers that your product is better, is a difficult job instead of coming with the first product. This also gives multiple other benefits. Like I have mentioned the example of surf. You know that surf was one of the first detergents that entered into Pakistani market. So now people have named it as the category. Like you must have heard them saying कि मुझे एरियल का सर्फ दे, okay, ये तो डिटर्जेंट की मार्केट है. यहाँ पे सर्फ तो बाइट सर्फ एक ब्रांड है, लेकिन वो कैटेगरी का नाम है. ऐसे ही बहुत से लोग आप में से कहते होंगे कि हमारे पास डॉलेंस का फ्रिज. Now, fridge is a brand name which was the first refrigerator made by a German. So now this brand name has become a category name. Now we say that मैं fridge लेने जा रहा हूँ, मैं कि हाँ refrigerator लेने जा रहा हूँ. Okay, so law number 2 is the law of category. इसमें यह है कि आपको अपनी नई कैटेगरी बाज़-औक़ात बनानी चाहिए. मिसाल के तौर पे अगर आप जिस चाह रहे हैं कि मैं एक नई प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च करूं और इसके लिए एक नई कैटेगरी आइडेंटिफाई करूं, बट यू आर अनएबल टू फाइंड दैट कैटेगरी, देन आपने क्या करना है कि एक नई कैटेगरी बनानी. आप उसकी सब क्लास बनाएं जिसमें आप कुछ एडिशनल फीचर्स के साथ अपनी प्रोडक्ट को लॉन्च कर सकते. ठीक है. अच्छा, इसकी इसकी मतलब जरूरत क्यों है? क्योंकि अगेन जो अक्सर वो लोग एग्जांपल देते हैं कि हु वाज द फर्स्ट पर्सन टू लैंड ऑन मून एंड मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल know the name, but when you ask it who was the second or third person, the world don't knows that. because पहला जो शख्स था वो हमेशा से याद था. अगेन एक एग्जांपल यहाँ पे जो है वो अमीला की मेंशन की है कि अटलांटिक ओशन क्रॉस किया था पहली दफा. वो ज़ाहिर उस कैटेगरी में तो नहीं आ सकती थी बिकॉज एक शख्स ने कर लिया, बट शी वाज इन अनदर कैटेगरी दैट शी वाज द फर्स्ट फीमेल टू डू इट. तो शी लेड अनदर. The law of mind. The only reality you can be sure about is your own perception. If the universe exists, it exists inside your mind and the mind of others. तो आपको मतलब जो भी किसी भी, let's consider take your own example that you have perception about products. This product is very tasty. This restaurant serves the best quality. This restaurant serves the cost effective. So that you have that perception. Sometimes when you discuss this perception with your friends, they tell you that no, I don't think so. There is another restaurant which is better, or there is another restaurant which is cost effective. So ultimately, this perception of that particular brand is in your mind, and you are the one who is like taking this perception, and sometimes even you invite your friends there because you think that the restaurant is best, and when you are host, so you should go there, or that is the cost effective and you should go there. Okay, then the next thing is that marketing is a battle of perception rather than product. Sometimes two companies are having the same product, but their perception in the mind of a customer may be different. जिसमें सबसे बड़ी example है that is Pepsi and Coke. Like if you have to differentiate, it's very hard to differentiate color, taste. Like they're nearly the same, they're identical, but even then, because of its brand name, people prefer one or the other. Then the product which you are planning to launch in the new market, its name should be easy to remember and it should tell something about the brand. Okay, so the next is law of focus. Okay, you should own a word in the prospect's mind. Prospect is that potential person who can be your customer. Okay, a simple one that everybody uses. That word should be very simple. Everybody uses. There are a lot of successful ads in past, which are like everybody remembers those. For example, the ad of Morris, then the ad of Straight Life. Like people remember it from decades. And your name should be related to your category, and then the words that you choose can be benefit related, like any convenience or cure or benefit or its affordability. Then it can be service related, like at your doorstep, before everyone in shortest time possible. And then it can be audience related, like you can use a word which will, when you will use this word, so person can attach to themselves, like this product, the gorgeous people select these products. So the people who think they're gorgeous or they're elegant, so they will try to get attached with that product because of the word you are. And then sales related words are usually which attract the theory of a customer. Like some people think that when you ask them what kind of product you are looking for, yeah, bas jeb pe bhari na, the one which is not which is not expensive or which will not put burden on my budgets. So ultimately, you try to use a word which will attract them, and they will adapt. Okay. The law of ladder. Achha, ladder, at this point we have already discussed that every customer has a brand ladder in his or her mind. And what they do is that whenever they are going into the market, they always try to select a product. For example, whenever you are going for soap, maybe you are always looking for Lux and you know where it is placed in the shelf. If Lux is not available or the shopkeeper tells you that it's short, then you have a second brand name, then third brand name, then you have a fourth brand name. So this is called a brand ladder. And what your objective is to be to move towards the top. Likewise, we are in pharmaceutical industry, so हम अपनी example भी discuss करते हैं. Whenever an indication comes to a doctor, like if a patient tells the doctor that I am suffering from, or if a patient says, "Okay, I have bad throat," and doctor examines that the patient is suffering from pharyngitis. So for pharyngitis, he or she has a brand. Like there is a first product which he or she always prescribes. Then, in case the patient goes to the chemist and comes back like this product is not available, then the doctor has a second brand name, then the third brand name. Maximum 7 brand names are possible in in the brand ladder. It's very unusual. Usually, people can tell you 2, 3, or 4 brand names for a specific class or category, but it's like maximum up to 7 brand name comes in mind of a person. Like if he or she didn't get the first product, then they'll go for the second, for the third, for the fourth, for the fifth, for the sixth, for the seventh. But it's very hard. Usually, people have 2 to 3 brand names for each category in their mind. The law of opposite, the basic approach of positioning is to position yourself opposite to the competition. It's not necessary that like if you are trying to tell that we are giving the same benefits like with some added advantages, instead of that try to go other way around. Let me give you a very different example. It's not neither a consumer product nor a pharma product. It's an actor. Sultan Rahi used to be like very popular hero of Punjabi films, especially even Urdu films in Pakistan. There was a time, and he was famous for his badke, the loud voices, the specific typical stature he had. So during that time, another actor came, and he also got very he got also got success, and his name was Mustafa Qureshi. I once heard in his interview. So his style was very different. Uh, how many of you know Sultan Rahi and Mustafa Qureshi? Just raise your hands. How many of you know Mustafa Qureshi and Sultan Rahi? Don't see raise hand. Can you close this? So nobody knows. Only one hand. Okay. तो मैं इसको थोड़ा सा आसान कर देता हूँ क्योंकि सुल्तान राही जो है जैसा पंजाबी फिल्मों में एक वो बड़के मारने का रिवाज होता है ना कि वो जीरिया. So Mustafa Qureshi entered with a very famous dialogue. Maybe you know the dialogue that was Nama and so on. And he entered with a very slow voice, just opposite to Mustafa Sultan Rahi. And during his interview, he shared that I could have not spoken louder than Sultan Rahi. So I came the other way. So likewise, sometime when you are launching a brand, you may be hitting another need of a customer for the same product instead of telling the famous feature of current product is like better than them or comparable. Please move this window. The law of opposite, that instead of like in most of the cases, the markets are led by top two brands, like PepsiCo and like in any industry, whenever you will go, that you will see that rest of the brands are having market share, but top share is with one of the two brands. So instead of entering into that market and trying to gain the first position, is usually not that. So you should always come with something opposite, which those are already. अच्छा, अगर हम especially I know there are a couple of 7 brand names. 7 brand names, the regulatory limitation is a different thing. That is when you are going for a brand and you want to get it registered, you present 7 names. That these are the 7 names. Then regulatory evaluates that if the first name is matching to any other brand or any other already registered brand, then they pick second from your list, then third, then fourth, and fifth. I'm telling you that, for example, a doctor has to prescribe Comoxiclav. So he has augmented in his mind, then amoxiclav, and maybe third, fourth. So same brand name, different brand names for same molecule, but different products for same indication. For example, he prescribes comoxiclav in pharyngitis, he prescribes clarithromycin in pharyngitis, he prescribes cefixime for pharyngitis, he prescribes levofloxacin. So likewise, he will be having total 7 brand names in his mind for one particular indication for the treatment of any particular. Okay. तो अगर हम रिसेंट डेज में अपने सामने जहन में लाएं तो कोई ऐसी कैटेगरी जहां पे सिर्फ 2 लोग जो है वो लीड करते थे या रूल करते थे एंड देन थर्ड वन एंटर. This example is from politics. You see, in most of the countries there are two parties, Democrats and their opposition. In Pakistan there were two parties, but it's very rare what happened in Pakistan that the third party emerged and that became a big party. They did lots of branding. They did this branding for decades, then they got their space. But in most of the countries, there are two parties, and most of the people are associated with them. So, likewise, in marketing, usually two plus minus one brands lead the market. They are usually having more than 50% share, and rest of 50% is enjoyed by many products. Okay, the law of diversion. The category within the market you will not be solid. Its example is that if you are having, if you have observed Sovaldi, we also discussed in last class that this was the first product to treat hepatitis C with an oral treatment, and it enjoyed its place for about 1 to 2 years. But then the other companies also got their product registered and stabilized, and then they also marketed. तो ये जो आपकी किसी भी मार्केट के अंदर बिल्कुल अलोन मार्केट करने वाली I'll try to do that. Just give me a Okay, one of the participants have requested to explain the slide law number 9 again. I will not be discussing all the laws as I shared earlier. Certain laws which I think are very much relevant, those I'll be discussing. Okay, this is law of opposition is that you should not always try to tell that we will give you better service. I have also placed an example of AVs versus VAVs. Okay, so you know that AVs was number two uh, in the market. So what they did that they made a slogan in not see. Okay, so instead of telling that we will like we are better than number one or we are giving better services, what they did was that they starting accepting their weak. So, okay, we are not number one, we are number two. That's why we try hard. So this was their slogan in I guess 1960, and they said that we are number two. That's why we serve you better or we try hard. So this gave a very good impression in the mind of customer that they are accepting that they are number two, and currently this is their weakness, and that's why they will give us a better service, maybe in cost effective prices. So initially their competitor didn't take it very serious, and by I guess within 10 years they were number one. Likewise, sometimes you have to admit your weak area, and especially the weak area on which you are working. Then you can tell the customers that this is okay, this is our weakness, or this is the area where we are weaker than the competition we're using. But we will try to improve this, or we will serve you better because of this our weakness. So ultimately, what it gives in the customer's mind is that this company or this brand will be available to us with better quality, maybe in less price, or they will give us better service. So this is the law of going different. Okay, so I was discussing the law of diversion that your category within the market will not stay solid. Basically, the Soldi was launched. Yes, मैंने जो last slide को explain किया है वो आप समझ आ गई, Arisha and others? You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
थैंक यू सो मच सर। इससे प्रीवियस वाली स्लाइड आप समझा देंगे जिसमें सिर्फ डेफिनेशन लिखी हुई थी?
आप एक काम कीजिएगा कि if there is something which I was unable to explain here, so others can also ask. If there is specific thing which you missed or you think you need further explanation of that, then you can ask that on WhatsApp. The reason is so we can complete the class within time, and those people who have already understood, they can continue to the next slide. Okay? अच्छा, मैंने अगेन जिसने पहले कहा था कि हमें ब्रांड टाइम पे जाना है और हम अगेन अराउंड 30-35 मिनट के बाद एक 5 मिनट की ब्रेक लेंगे, टी ब्रेक, एंड देन अगेन हम कंटिन्यू करेंगे for half hour to 45 minutes with question answer. So I can address those things which are missed in question answer session or later on WhatsApp. I really appreciate like जो हैं वो he keeps on bringing new things and asking questions. Of course, during weekdays when we are at work, so it's not easy to reply all the time. But whenever I get time, I try to respond them, and this also gives a lot of food of thought to me as well. Likewise, Arisha, your class participation is also good, and this really gives motivation to me that. ओके, सो व्हाट आई शेयर्ड लास्ट वाज कि जिस कैटेगरी में आप एंटर हुए हैं उस कैटेगरी में शुरू में तो आपने फर्स्ट पोजीशन या फर्स्ट मूवर एडवांटेज एंजॉय कर लिया, लेकिन यू विल नॉट ऑलवेज बी अलोन देयर. लाइक इनिशियली अगर आप किसी कैटेगरी में अलोन भी हैं तो उसके बाद और लोग उसके अंदर आ जाएंगे, और जब मजीद लोग आ जाएंगे तो फिर आपको क्या करना होगा, खुद से सब कैटेगरी बना देनी चाहिए या फिर खुद से सब कैटेगरी बना के उसमें नंबर वन होने की कोशिश करनी चाहिए. Like let me give you an example. There used to be doctors. Like doctors were everywhere. Initially, people used to take admission in medicine in medical college, and they want to become doctor. Then world realized that we should have specialized. So we started watching pediatricians, gynecologists, surgeons. But then it was further categorized. Like among pediatricians, then there were neonatologists, pediatric physician, pediatric medicine, pediatric surgery. Like within surgery, then it was neurosurgery, orthopedic surgery. So new classes keep on emerging, and then like there may be a popular pediatrician, but then when a new class of neonatology like emerged, that people started doing sub specialization in neonatology, then it's not necessary that the doctor who was famous being the best pediatrician in the town would be famous being the best neonatologist. There may be some other person who would be leading that. But in our industry, if you're leading a category and you think that by time like some other needs, unmet needs, may result in bringing a new category, then you can think of focusing in that category, and then you can again launch a new product in that. The law of line extension. Okay, you will have pressure to extend the equity of your brand. Line extension is like, for example, if you are having a drink, then you will be having pressure to launch its different flavors, different sizes, different packagings. Like, yes, there are some Coca-Cola lovers, there are some Sprite lovers, which is usually called white soft drink, and then there are orange soft drink flasks. Then you have to keep on launching. Then they also launch juices, they launch mineral water. This is one thing that you have to have variety. The second thing is you need to have different sizes. You need to have small bottle, pet bottle, family size bottle, can. So you will have to keep on bringing line extensions. As I shared with you earlier, that you may or may not agree with the author in everything. According to author in this great book of 22 Immutable Laws of Branding, the author thinks that bringing a line extension is not that wonderful idea and it will not last for long. But in my opinion, or maybe it's more true for pharmaceutical industry, line extensions are good. Bringing line extension always improves PLC, improves the PLC of your brand. PLC is product lifetime. So there are 4 levels: introduction, from introduction to then growth, then decline. So ultimately, if you bring line extensions, then it improves the product life cycle of your brand. In pharmaceutical, bringing line extension always. For example, in particularly in chronic disease areas like in cardiology, like in diabetes, cardiometabolic segment, the research is on, and sometime one molecule is being launched. After some time, this molecule is being launched in a combination, and studies show that this combination is having a better results. So sometime in certain cases, this new class has crossed the primary class in value, number, growth, everything. So in pharmaceutical, bringing good line extension is always useful. So here again, I shared the point with you, but I disagree with the author, because in consumer branding, maybe the line extension is not for long. Take the example like you must have seen that KFC or Pizza Hut or other pizza brands, they keep on bringing certain dishes, certain items, certain things in their menu, which is for the short time, like Mexican burger. They bring this for a month or so and then like discontinue. So their line extensions are not for long, just to attract the customer for a short period. But then they discontinue. They have to focus on the main brand. But in pharmaceutical, sometimes line extension, which is latest product, which is giving better results, which are being endorsed by international studies, that may be more successful than the initial brand. Okay, the law of sacrifice. The law of sacrifice is, again, I will not go into very much details of it. Law of sacrifice is, let's consider you are having a group in which your team is promoting 7 or 8 products. Around 80% of the revenue is coming from top 2 products, and the rest of 4 or 5 products are contributing just 20%. Because of which your team's focus is diluting, or they are unable to focus on the main brand. Here you may have to sacrifice 2 or 3 brands, like they're in the small marketing segment, their segment is not growing, or that is slow. So you can think of sacrificing those products and discontinuing those, or selecting those for non-promotion products, and then this the sacrifice of those 3 products can bring improved results in rest of the products. Okay. Good. The law of resources. It's all again very important, because exceptional ideas will never get off the ground without sufficient. If you think that you are having a wonderful plan, if you think that you are having a robust brand plan, you are having a robust campaign or idea, this will not work without if the company is not having sufficient resources. That's why whenever we whenever we plan any target or whenever we give any forecast, we always give a expected expense detail to it, that this much amount will be spent, and then we'll be able to achieve goals. So your resources should be enriched. If you are having ample resources, then you should enter into that market with the product, with the campaign, with the idea, with the. Okay, so here before starting a marketing plan, I can also hear the azan. So we'll have a 5-minute break. I'll have to grab my cup of tea, and we'll resume after 5 to 7 minutes. Okay, thank you. Okay, welcome back, everyone. So from here we are commencing our marketing plan or brand plan.
Main session missed you. Your session.
It is requested to mute your mics. So these are segments of a brand plan, which include, first of all, executive summary. Executive summary is not part of these 5, but executive summary में हम ये करते हैं कि जो पूरा brand plan है उसको summarize करते हैं initially 2 to 4 slides. उसकी वजह ये है कि जब brand plan senior management को दिखाया जाता है, maybe your boss, your marketing manager, or your marketing head would like to see all details of it. बट सीनियर मैनेजमेंट जो है कंपनी की, वो समटाइम उनको बहुत से ब्रांड्स के, कंपनी के मे बी 20 ब्रांड्स हो, मे बी कंपनी में 50 ब्रांड्स हो, जिनके ब्रांड प्लान उनको रिव्यू करने होते हैं, और उनके पास इतना वक्त नहीं होता कि वो पूरी प्रेजेंटेशन दे सकें या पूरी प्रेजेंटेशन देख सकें. So what they do is they just review the summary. The summary has everything of it, and they just like summarize all the things in 3-4 slides. So executive summary is the first or initial part of the brand plan. और executive summary के बाद जो basic ingredients हैं वो शुरू. So brand plan, its ingredients are executive summary, overview, situation analysis, strategies and objectives, then one year tactical plan and forecast, and then investments. Achha, what is in the overview? In overview, you highlight, for example, if you are working on a product which is already there in the market, or it was launched a couple of years back, or maybe a decade back, and now you are being assigned this product. So, or you are being given an assignment to make a brand plan of any product which is there in the market already. The first thing what you have to do is that you have to mention a little bit of its history. I have just given it a name of Fastra. Fastra is the product. It was launched in, for example, 2016, and it is co-promoted with A and B. Co-promoted means that the team which is promoting Fastra may be an antibiotic, Fastra may be an anti-ulcerants, what other products there. इससे फर्क क्या पड़ता है? फॉर एग्जाम्पल दैट इज एन एंटीबायोटिक, एंड इसके साथ में एक मल्टीविटामिन सीरप है और मॉन्टिल्यूकास्ट का साशे है जो कि बच्चों को एस्थमा में दिया जाता है. इससे अंदाजा ये होगा कि इस टीम की जो ज्यादा पेनिट्रेशन है वो पीडियाट्रिक सेगमेंट, तो आप मे बी उस इंडिकेशन पे फोकस करेंगे जो बच्चों में प्रमोट. ठीक है, तो को प्रोमोटेड प्रोडक्ट से अंदाजा ये होता है कि आपको सेगमेंट आपका ऑलरेडी डिफाइंड सेगमेंट है, और जो डॉक्टर्स हैं वो आपकी इस एक प्रोडक्ट के साथ और क्या प्रोडक्ट लिख सकते हैं या ऑलरेडी लिख रहे हैं। A brief about the product placement in the total portfolio that you just highlight that, for as I shared with you, most of the time one brand is covering the main portfolio, or it's the main contributor in the portfolio. So this, as this is the main product, so this is contributing 70% of the business, and the rest of 2 or 3 or 4 products are 30% of the business. And then it's a primary brand being launched to stretch, elongate product life cycle of faster brand being available in Oridos or tablet form. Like you are having certain line extensions. Previously, you were promoting a product which is being promoted in BD dose or TDS dose. Please hold on. Okay, then what are your feelings about the brand? Your feeling about the brand is that how you feel about the brand which you are promoting, or your feeling about the campaign which is already in process, your feeling about the strategy, about the positioning statement, the opportunity. So you share your feeling about the brand. You hold one second. Then as I shared with you कि मैं बजाय इसके कि मैं सिर्फ आपको बुलेट्स के साथ जो है ब्रांड प्लान समझाऊं, आई हैव ट्राइड कि मैं ब्रांड प्लान की जो स्लाइड्स किस तरीके से बनाई जाती हैं ऐसे स्लाइड्स बना लूं और आप इसको ताकि आप जब ब्रांड प्लान बनाएं तो आपको एक अंदाजा हो कि किस तरह चीज। So usually what we do, we make a table and we mention here DEF are the SKUs. For example, if you are promoting ciprofloxacin, then it has 250 mg, 500 mg, and 1 gram. So what you do, that you mention 3 SKUs and then you start mentioning the details. Okay, if it's having 1 gram, so what are the targeted patients for 1 gram? If it's having 500 mg, then what are the targeted patients for 500 mg? And F may be a suspension which is being promoted in pediatrics. So what are the target patient segment for F? Then you highlight the core benefits. Every product has some core benefits for which it's being prescribed, like it may be a broad spectrum, it may be prescribed as first choice, it may be the most cost-effective treatment. So you highlight the core benefits of your brand. Then reasons to believe is that in pharmaceutical marketing, we cannot just use the superlative degree. Okay, this is the best quinolone or this is the best treatment for RTA. You should always have logical reasons behind it. You should have third-party references, which may include a study, a journal publication, its name mentioned in the book. So you try to highlight the logic, the reason, the third-party reference, why people should believe. Are you having enough evidence that this product or the claims which you are mentioning are true? And then emotional end benefit. Emotional end benefit is that you create through your branding, through your positioning, and you start marketing it, that how using this product would be beneficial for the customer or customer कौन था हमारे पास? Doctor and consumer patient. देन ओवरव्यू के अंदर हम क्या देखते हैं कि अगेन इस तरह से हम मोस्टली पाई चार्ट के अंदर हम इसको देख लेते हैं कि जो ए बी और सी ये SKUs हैं, इनकी कंट्रीब्यूशन विद इन द ब्रांड. As I shared you example with you that we have 1 gram, we have 500 mg, and then we have pediatric suspension. So how much each SKU is contributing in the brand, and its contribution is increasing or decreasing, or if its contribution is increasing or decreasing, then what are your inferences that you have tried? Like you just don't present the data because that data can be seen maybe through the company resource or through IMS by anyone. But then what you want to say in this data? What does this chart tell? Whenever you sometimes make a table, sometimes you make a graph, and then you highlight your comments that, for example, this specific SKU, which is B, is having 40% share, which means that we have to focus, maybe this B is a suspension. So maybe we have to focus on pediatrics. Then you evaluate the overall business unit. For example, the brand which you are promoting was having 81% share in the total portfolio in the past, and the other 3 or 4 brands are having just 19% share in 2018. But now the share of brand A has reduced to 78%, and other brands have increased. I'm sorry, it's again 19 written here, has increased to 22%. What does this tell us? It doesn't mean that A is not growing, but A has lost its share in the BU. It means that maybe you have launched more products in the BU, maybe the other products are growing faster, or you have tried to reduce your reliance on one brand. When you try to reduce your reliance on one brand, it's this good, because it means that BU is not dependent on a single brand. So reduction in contribution of the brand in the BU in the total portfolio is not always bad. Sometimes you have also launched a new fast growing product, or sometimes you have tried to focus on the other brand as well to reduce the reliance of the BU on this particular. Then what you do that in overview, as I shared with you, that you analyze the data through different sources. For example, the previous data which we were evaluating, that which SKU is contributing with how much percentage. Usually we have this data in our internal sales. There is a sales compilation department, which will, and of course, you're also evaluating the sales every day, every month, every week, and year by year. So you have these data with you. You have to just put this in a format, and then you have to analyze and drive. For example, that in 2018, 2019, 2020, you were having specific budgets which are written in the blue, and then you are having specific actual achievement. So by this, you can see that we were achieving the budgets or not. What is the growth of the product? In which particular year the product grew? In which particular year the product declined? And then you again highlight your inferences from this. Okay. So in overview, we have given overall evaluation of our own brand, its SKU, its contribution in the portfolio, and how this brand was performing according to internal data. Now we'll move towards situation analysis. In situation analysis, mostly we see external factors, internal plus external factors. हम ये देखते हैं कि हम कहाँ खड़े हैं, हमारा इंटरनल डाटा क्या बता रहा है, कॉम्पिटिटर का डाटा क्या बता रहा है. कॉम्पिटिटर का डाटा ज्यादातर हमें सेकेंडरी रिसर्च, प्राइमरी रिसर्च और सेकेंडरी रिसर्च का मैंने डिफरेंस आपको ये बताया था कि प्राइमरी रिसर्च आप खुद करते हैं, कि आप किसी एजेंसी को बताते हैं कि आप जरा इसमें कस्टमर सेटिस्फेक्शन हमें पता करके बताएं, सर्वे करके बताएं, या आप जो है वो इवेल्युएट करके बताएं कि कौन से एज ग्रुप में हमारी प्रोडक्ट ज्यादा. और सेकेंडरी डाटा वो होता है जो IQVIA, इसका प्रीवियस नेम IMS था, वो कंपाइल करता है, जिसमें इंडस्ट्री की तमाम मेजर कंपनी, तमाम मेजर प्रोडक्ट्स का ईयर बाय ईयर डाटा वो सिर्फ इवेल्युएशन के लिहाज से. तो इन सिचुएशन एनालिसिस हम शुरू कहाँ से करते हैं? जनरलाइज मैक्रो से. Like also shared a question with me today, micro analysis and macro analysis. So we start with macro analysis. हम बड़ी पिक्चर पहले देखते हैं, फिर ग्रेजुअली हम जो है फनल डाउन कि जनरल वर्किंग एनवायरनमेंट क्या है, कि हमारी इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ कैसी है, और व्हाट इज आवर पर कैपिटा इनकम, with what percentage of our population is increased, is our country politically stabilized or not stabilized. If stabilized, ultimately the business opportunities and growth increases. And if the government is spending on health sector, if the private sector is being involved in the development of hospitals and treatment of patients, ultimately these factors either help in growth or decline of the market, in the total market. Then specific pharma environment, that how these things will impact your own industry. That pharma working environment during the cycle, maybe this is just a random comment. It's not. You can say that it's a dummy comment. And this cycle will be competitive and strong due to post-COVID situation and techniques, because a lot of doctors are not practicing, a lot of hospitals are not working to their full potential. During COVID, the surgeries were being postponed, the elective surgeries were being postponed. So ultimately, there was decline in the business. So how this situation or the environment will be impacting our own particular market or segment or the molecule? Only those will succeed who are vigilant, going with planning, and have good customer insight. Like these are the people who are already having good grip on the customer and consumer. Ultimately, in tough time, you know that the tough gets going. Efficient planning पहले से भी ज़्यादा चाहिए होगी, which means less resources and more output. So you can cope up with the situation whenever there's a challenging situation and there are margin issues. Then what you have to do is that you have to improve your results and improve your revenue and reduce your expenses. then within that particular therapeutic segment where you are participating, for example, in subtherapeutic class of systematic anti-infective, there's a cutthroat competition of first line first class antibiotic, because everybody wants that whenever that name of indication comes in the mind of market doctor, like for example, if the doctor is examining and he evaluates that the patient is suffering from otitis media, then you would like to have your product in the top on the top ladder in the brain of the person. But whenever he will have otitis media, then your product should come in his or her mind, and they should prescribe the product. ओके, तो इसी सिचुएशन एनालिसिस को, इसी मार्केटिंग एनालिसिस को, एक तो हम लाइक पहले हमने देखा कि ओवरऑल मुल्क की सिचुएशन कैसी है, फार्मा की एनवायरनमेंट कैसी है, और आपका अपना पर्टिकुलर सेगमेंट है। लाइक रिसेंटली कोविड के अंदर एजिथ्रोमाइसिन और कुछ पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट थी जो कि बहुत ज्यादा रिकमेंड होती। इस कोविड सिचुएशन में जहां ओवरऑल बिजनेस गिरा, लेकिन वो कंपनी जिनके पास एजिथ्रोमाइसिन थी उसका बिजनेस बढ़ गया। Then product company launched it, percentage share, units, value in million. ये हेडिंग यूजुअली हम ड्राइव करते हैं IMS से या IQVI। वहां से हमें डाटा जो मिलता है वो टेबुलर फॉर्म में मिलता है, जिसमें ये तमाम चीजें मौजूद होती हैं। जब आप अपनी क्वेरी रन करते हैं IMS प्लस पे, तो आप ये तमाम चीजें मेंशन कर देते हैं कि मुझे इन पर्टिकुलर कंपटीशन की ये तमाम डाटा देखना है। तो कौन सी प्रोडक्ट है, वो किस कंपनी से है, उसकी लॉन्च डेट क्या थी, करंट उसका मार्केट शेयर क्या है, कितने यूनिट्स बिकते हैं, कितनी वैल्यू है, और एवोल्यूशन। एवोल्यूशन इंडेक्स का जो जो आखिरी कॉलम है, इसका मतलब ये होता है कि अगर एवोल्यूशन आपका 100 से प्लस है, लाइक 101, 102, 103 है, तो आपकी प्रोडक्ट मार्केट से फास्ट ग्रो। और अगर आपका एवोल्यूशन इंडेक्स 100 से कम है, लाइक 98 है, 97 है, 95 है, तो इट मींस आप ग्रो तो कर रहे हैं लेकिन मार्केट से कम ग्रो। अगेन मार्केट की डेफिनेशन भी चेंज हो सकती है। मिसाल के तौर पे इफ यू आर प्रमोटिंग सेफिक्साइन, so you can evaluate that how many cephexime are there in Pakistan. For example, there are 200 cephexime. So within these 200 cephexime brands, how I am. Then आप ये देख सकते हैं कि जो थेरापेटिक क्लास है, थेरापेटिक क्लास क्या होती है, जैसे जो सेफेक्साइम है वो आएगी सेफेलोस्पोरिन से, जैसे जो क्लैरिथ्रोमाइसिन है या एजिथ्रोमाइसिन है, ये आएगी मैक्रोलाइट्स। तो इनके एक खास किस्म के नंबर्स भी दिए होते हैं, आप अपनी क्लास का नंबर भी याद रख सकते हैं। जैसे मैं नहीं पढ़ सकता कि मल्टीपल आप इवैल्यूएशन को मल्टीपल डायमेंशन से देखते हैं। इंटरनल फैक्टर्स होते हैं, एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर्स होते हैं, एक्सटर्नल मल्टीपल फैक्टर्स। तो जो आपकी टारगेट मार्केट है उसको आप क्या कर सकते हैं कि लाइक आपने एक ब्रॉड डेफिनेशन ले ली कि एंटीबायोटिक्स। अब एंटीबायोटिक एक बड़ी डेफिनेशन है। एंटी इन्फेक्टिव्स के बाद आप ये देख सकते हैं कि विद इन सेफेलोस्पोरिन्स आप देखना चाह रहे हैं, या you want to evaluate this in macrolides, ये clarithromycin है, azithromycin है, या you want to evaluate quinolones like moxifloxacin, gemifloxacin, levofloxacin. So what you do here is in this chart you compare other products with your product according to, for example, IMS. What is your product, which is your company, what was your launch date। इससे पता चलता है कि कितने वक्त में आप कितना मार्केट शेयर ग्रैब कर पाए और पर्टिकुलर कंपटीटर कितना शेयर ग्रैब कर पाए। यूनिट्स की वजह से what idea you get is के are you having more prescriptions or your product price is high or low and therefore the value is high। For example, two products are selling the same units, but one is 20% expensive, so its value will be 20% higher। Okay, again in market analysis, leading products in, for example, as I shared with you, anti-infectives हैं, anti-ulcerants हैं, different segments होते हैं। आपने product A, B, C, D 4 products की value देखी, उनका market share देखा। अच्छा, market share के बाद फिर एक और factor होता है growth। For example, current जो example हमने लिखी है, इसमें जो product A है वो 7 million और उसकी जो market share है वो 56% है, growth 18%, which means that this product is not only having the top share, but this product is also enjoying the fastest growth। मार्केट की उस पर्टिकुलर सेगमेंट के मॉलिक्यूल के अंदर जो ग्रोथ है वो डिपेंड कर रही होती है टॉप प्रोडक्ट। फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ प्रोडक्ट A is growing by 18%, it means that market is growing by maybe 16 or 17%। जी, डेटा तो देखिए तमाम तरह का, चाहे एनुअल रिपोर्ट का डेटा हो या आपका इंटरनल डेटा हो, आईएमएस का डेटा हो, तमाम ही डेटा यूजफुल होता है। आपको देखना है कि उस डेटा को यूज कैसे करते हैं। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इस जो एग्जाम्पल अभी स्क्रीन पे आ रही है, इसमें आप समझिए कि अगर ये जो टॉप प्रोडक्ट है ए, इसकी ग्रोथ हो 1%, then which means that this product is number one, having 7 million value. This product is having the top share, but if its growth is 7%, which means its evolution index would be negative, less than 100, and it's having the top position, but it's not growing fast. Likewise, if you see that the fourth product is only 1.4 million, it's having the least market share, but its growth is on number two, which means it's growing faster than B and C. Maybe they are doing something better. So this is how we see the data, and then we drive inferences. ओके, अच्छा, नॉर्मली हम आईएमएस प्लस या जो ब्लैक बुक कहलाती है, पीकेपीआई कहलाती है, इसके डिफरेंट नाम है जहां से हम सेल के यूनिट्स का डाटा लेते हैं। जायरेक्स, जायरेक्स जिनका आईडी है, ये अपना नाम भी मेंशन कर दें ताकि मैं स्पेसिफिक करा। अच्छा, what we can do is कि we can have a question answer session at the end. So बजाय हम के बीच में में अपनी एक कंटिन्यूएशन है वो रुकती है, और मैं अपना जो पॉइंट हाईलाइट करना चाह रहा हूँ वो पहले हाईलाइट करते हैं, एट द एंड हम अपने क्वेश्चंस नोट कर लें, कैन आंसर द क्वेश्चन दैट है। बट देयर इज आल्सो एमआईपी डेटा जो कि मेडिकल इंडेक्स ऑफ पाकिस्तान है। दिस डेटा इज आल्सो प्रोवाइडेड बाय आईक्यूवीआईए और आईएमएस, एंड दिस टेल्स अस दैट व्हाट इज द प्रिस्क्रिप्शन ट्रेंड। इट्स नॉट फोकसिंग ऑन सेल्स, इट्स नॉट फोकसिंग ऑन growth of units, it's focusing on disease, that which are the diseases being treated, how many patients are being reported any particular disease, and then which are the products which are being used to treat that particular disease or disease. As I have highlighted dummy data of RTIs, respiratory tract infections. Its prescription is, for example, 135.3 million total prescriptions which were mentioned in respiratory tract infections. और नीचे आप जो देख रहे हैं MEP लिखा हुआ है, अगर आप राइट साइड के बॉटम कॉर्नर में देखें, MEP फर्स्ट एस 2006, MEP फर्स्ट एस 2020। तो इससे हम हिस्टोरिक डेटा भी देख सकते हैं, करंट डेटा भी देख सकते हैं कि मेडिकल इंडेक्स ऑफ पाकिस्तान क्या बता रहा है कि इस पर्टिकुलर ईयर में कितने केसेस रिपोर्ट हुए रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक। अच्छा, विद इन दैट रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक इन्फेक्शंस, देन कितने केसेस जो हैं वो एक्यूट आरटीआईज के थे, कितने केसेस जो हैं मिडल ईयर के थे, कितने केसेस क्रॉनिक लोअर रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक इन्फेक्शन के थे, कितने केसेस एक्यूट लोअर रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक इन्फेक्शन के थे। तो हम ये प्रिस्क्रिप्शन एनालिसिस देख रहे हैं स्पेलोस्पोरेंस का। विद इन दैट स्पेलोस्पोरेंस जो इंडिकेशंस हैं डिफरेंट जिसमें स्पेलोस्पोरेंस यूज होती हैं वो हाईलाइट, और इसमें रेस्पिरेटरी इन्फेक्शन भी हैं, गैस्ट्रो भी है, और हमने उसमें से आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया कि रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक इन्फेक्शन कितनी है, क्योंकि पर्टिकुलरली अगर हमारी प्रोडक्ट रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक इन्फेक्शन में है हम उसको फोकस करना चाह रहे हैं। TC मींस थेरेप्यूटिक क्लास। सिचुएशन एनालिसिस, अगर अभी आप देखें, जिस तरह आप देख लें कि लेफ्ट साइड पे एक अगेन J00 लिखा है, J00 इस क्लास का कोड है, which is acute upper respiratory tract infection indication analysis। क्या विद इन रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक इन्फेक्शंस हमने उसका एक सब क्लास ले लिया which is acute upper respiratory tract। acute upper respiratory tract infection में हम देखने जा रहे हैं कि which molecules are being prescribed। For example, 32.9% cases are being treated with broad spectrum penicillin, then 3% with tetracycline, 6.8% with fluoroquinolones, and around 20% with cephalosporin and combination. So this tells, and macrolide 22%. This tells us that this particular indication is treated by this class of antibiotics. It's not about brand or molecule yet, it's about class. Next slide. Okay, then again, for example, we took another indication which is middle ear infections, and its code is H74. Then we see that which kind of antibiotics are being prescribed in what percent. Then we can further drill down. For example, this red pie of cephalosporins, if we are operating or marketing a cephalosporin product, then we will further drill down. Then ये जो pie है 32% का, इसको हम 100 कंसिडर करेंगे, और उस 100 के फिर अंदर देखेंगे कि cephalosporins में फर्स्ट जनरेशन कितनी यूज हो रही है, सेकंड जनरेशन कितनी यूज हो रही है, थर्ड कितनी हो रही है, जिससे हमें मार्केट का ट्रेंड का अंदाजा होगा कि इस पर्टिकुलर इंडिकेशन को ट्रीट करने के लिए which is antibiotic that doctors track. Okay, again same for otitis media. Like in middle years, अब हम further drill down कर गए एक particular indication, which is otitis media. In otitis media, 46% patients are treated with broad spectrum penicillins. It means कि penicillin या penicillin derivatives जो हैं amoxicillin, comoxiclav, ये 46% यूज होते हैं otitis media को ट्रीट करने के लिए. Macrolides का यूज निस्बतन यहाँ कम है, which is 12%. Cephalosporins का again ज़्यादा है, 4%. So this tells us that which segment to focus and which brands to focus by further drilling down. Okay. तो हम जब what we do in situation analysis, हमें इस चीज का भी अंदाजा होता है कि जो हमें आगे जाके STP देखना है. STP क्या था? Segmentation, targeting, positioning. If you are making a brand plan for the first time for any product, or if you're like the product is being launched earlier, now you are the one who is making the brand plan, then what you do that you have to identify a segment. You cannot market the product to every doctor. For example, you want to, or you cannot promote it in every indication. We have to always choose top 2-3 indications. By evaluating the data, you will come to know that this product is more being prescribed in, for example, otitis media, या ये प्रोडक्ट फेरेंजाइटिस में ज्यादा लिखी जाती है, या ये प्रोडक्ट जो है वो डायरिया में ज्यादा लिखी जाती है, या ये प्रोडक्ट टाइफाइड में ज्यादा लिखी जाती है. उससे आपको ये भी अंदाजा होता है कि किस सेगमेंट में प्रमोट करनी है और टारगेट किसको करना है. मिसाल के तौर पे फेरेंजाइटिस का केस सबसे ज्यादा कहाँ आता है? फैमिली फिजिशियन के पास आता है कि जैसे गला खराब होता है, हम फैमिली फिजिशियन के पास जाते हैं, गला खराब है. जब कोई कॉम्प्लिकेटेड डिजीज होती है या किसी डिजीज की सिविरिटी ज्यादा होती है तो हम स्पेशलिस्ट के पास जाते हैं. इवन के इस डाटा में आपको ये भी मिलता है कि कितने परसेंटेज के साथ जीपीज इस पर्टिकुलर इंडिकेशन को इवेलुएट करते हैं, कितनी परसेंटेज के साथ फिजिशियन, कितनी परसेंटेज के साथ पीडियाट्रिशियन, कितनी परसेंटेज के साथ सर्जन. ये इंडिकेशन रिपोर्ट किसको. So what you do from all evaluating all this data is you evaluate that which segment to focus, gynae, peds, pediatrics, surgery, and then whom we should target, which doctor, and then again by comparing its price and the specialists who are prescribing it, you highlight that which class of doctors you will target. You will target consultants or junior doctors or family physicians or doctors in the institution. So this segmentation and targeting is being done through analysis of this data. अच्छा, एक और एंगल से, जिसे मैंने कहा कि डेटा तो आपके पास मुख्तलिफ तरह का अवेलेबल होता है, फिर आप उसको एवेल्युएट करते हैं अपने डिफरेंट रिक्वायरमेंट्स के मुताबिक. मिसाल के तौर पे देयर इज अ पर्टिकुलर डिजीज और प्रोडक्ट जो कि प्रिस्क्राइब की जाती है, इसकी जो प्रिस्क्रिप्शन है, लेट्स कंसीडर सेफेलोस्पोरिन है, इनकी प्रिस्क्रिप्शन 1 to 4 ईयर्स के, लेस देन 1 ईयर के बच्चों में कितनी है, 4 ईयर्स के बच्चों में कितनी है, 5 to 11 ईयर्स के बच्चों में कितनी है, देन उसके बाद 12 to 19 ईयर्स में कितनी है, एडल्ट्स में कितनी है, ओल्ड एज में कितनी है. अगेन इससे आपको ये अंदाजा होता है कि अगर फॉर एग्जांपल दिस प्रोडक्ट इज बीइंग प्रिस्क्राइब्ड मोर बाय इन पीडियाट्रिक्स, देन यू विल बी फोकसिंग इन पीडियाट्रिक्स. इफ इट्स बीइंग प्रिस्क्राइब्ड मोर इन एडल्ट, देन यू विल बी फोकसिंग फिजिशियंस और जीपीस. और आप अपनी जो मार्केटिंग कैंपेन है वो भी उसी एज ग्रुप के हाथ में लगाएंगे. स्टडीज में भी आप ये यूज करें. Then co-prescribed from this the secondary data, you also get one thing, with what other products are being prescribed with this product. For example, it is prescribed 26% alone as a single brand. Then it's co-prescribed in 75.7% cases. With what other products? With analgesic, with cough sedative, with antirheumatic, with expectorant. This tells you that again that which are the other products which are being prescribed with this particular product. This can help you again in what? Launching new. Like if you're promoting a product which is being co-prescribed by analgesic, which means that your team is visiting the doctors who prescribe analgesics a lot. And if you're not having analgesic in your group and you're planning to launch a new product, you can think of launching an analgesic. Okay, then competitor database on reconstructed market. What is reconstructed market? Like it's a raw data which is telling if you are searching the sales of Cefixime, then it will be giving you data of 300 brands of the same one. If you are evaluating that pharyngitis is being treated by cephalosporins, quinolones, XYZ complete, then it's a very huge set. You cannot focus everywhere. Maybe you will identify 2 or 3 brands, or maybe one brand from each class, and then you will see that what are their area of improvement, what are your strengths, and then you will focus them. This driving the data from different sources and making your own tailor-made data is called drive, where you are evaluating or comparing yourself with the identified competitors. Not everybody, not the entire market, but with identified competitors whom you think are your major competition. So what are like those 4 top molecules or brands? What are top 4 brands which you are focusing as a competitor? What are their molecule? What is their launch rate? What is their positioning in the segment? Then what is their stage of life cycle? And what is their market share? Market share in the ABC market. Okay, now what you do is that you are comparing only the drive market products, the 3 or 2 or 5, 3 or 2 or 4 products you have identified as your competition. Now you started analyzing it by drilling down into specific information about these products. That -3, like what was their sale 3 years back, 2 years back, last year, current year, and what if we give projection to that with the percentage they are growing. अगर वो 10% से grow कर रहे हैं तो आप उनकी current year की figure को 10% से grow करें. जो कंपटीटर 15% से ग्रो कर रहा है उसकी आप करंट फिगर को 15% से ग्रो करके देख लेते हैं कि अगले साल ये कहाँ लैंड करेंगे, और जिस परसेंटेज से हम ग्रो कर रहे हैं तो हम कहाँ लैंड करेंगे, और जिस परसेंटेज से हम ग्रो करना चाहते हैं अगर हम वो परसेंटेज अचीव कर लेते हैं तो वेयर वी विल लैंड एट व्हाट विल बी आवर मार्केट शेयर नेक्स्ट ईयर इन द ड्राइव. अब हम अगर आप राइट साइड पे बॉटम कॉर्नर में देखें तो पीकेपीआई Q1 2020, which means कि अब जो ब्लैक बुक का सेल्स का डेटा है IMS का, हम उसमें से ये तमाम डेटा ड्राइव सॉरी. ओके, अब आप क्या कर रहे हैं कि एक तरफ आपने पहले कॉम्पिटिशंस को आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया, किस कंपनी का है, कौन सी प्रोडक्ट है, किस ईयर में लॉन्च हुई थी, किस परसेंटेज से ग्रो कर रही है. अब आप इवेल्युएट करते हैं अपने टारगेटेड सेगमेंट के लिहाज से. लाइक आपने टारगेट सेगमेंट निकाला था पीडियाट्रिक्स, गायनी, मेडिसिन. नॉट हियर मी, कैन यू हियर मी नाउ? Is the voice clear? Please tell me in chat. Akash, can you hear me now? Okay. Thank you. Okay, तो अब सेगमेंट कौन से हैं हमारे? हमने पीडियाट्रिशियन, पीड्स, गायनी और मेडिसिन और ENT 4 सेगमेंट आइडेंटिफाई किए अपने डेटा को देखते हुए कि जो हमारी प्रोडक्ट लिख सकते हैं, जो प्रोडक्ट में हैं. अच्छा, करेंटली जो उनके पास पेशेंट्स आ रहे हैं उनकी मेट नीड्स हैं. मेट नीड्स क्या होते हैं? लाइक दे आर हैविंग एन एंटीबायोटिक फॉर द ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ ओटाइटिस, मे बी दैट इज गिविंग 70% रिजल्ट्स एज पर स्प्रेड. अनमेट नीड्स क्या हैं? Unmet needs are those like which still are not being met. Like there is a product which is meeting the need of treating the patient for otitis media, but this is very bitter. Its compliance is very poor. It's very difficult to give this to children. उसकी met need क्या है? The doctor is having an antibiotic which will treat otitis media. But उस medicine को पीने के साथ बच्चे की जो compliance का issue है वो unmet need है कि ये बच्चा पीता नहीं. It's very yeah, I guess Akash, everyone says they are hearing, so there may be a problem with your speaker or headphone, I guess. Can you hear me now, Akash? Okay, so great, thank you. Like, then what is the importance of unmet need? क्या अनमेट नीड इतनी अहम है कि डॉक्टर उसके अगेंस्ट अगर वो नीड आप मीट कर लें तो आपकी प्रोडक्ट को चूज कर लेगा? क्या इतनी अहम है? डेफिनेटली. इफ लाइक बच्चे की कंप्लायंस ही अच्छी नहीं है, प्रोडक्ट तो बहुत अच्छी है लेकिन बच्चा पीता नहीं है, माँ बाप को तंग करता है मेडिसिन देते हुए और दवा टाइम पे नहीं लेता, हाथ मार के गिरा देता है, तो उसकी कंप्लायंस इतनी पुअर है. इफ यू आर ब्रिंगिंग समथिंग व्हिच इज गिविंग इवन द इक्वल रिजल्ट, योर प्रोडक्ट इज आल्सो गिविंग 95% रिजल्ट and previously used product is giving 95% result, but your product is having pleasant taste, then definitely the doctor will. Or the other product is being given 3 times a day and you are coming up with a product which is used once a day, so ultimately compliance है. The patient, like it's an adult patient, उसको एक प्रोडक्ट दिन में सिर्फ रात को घर आकर खानी है, दोपहर की डोज वो ऑफिस में, वर्क पे, फील्ड में भूल जाता है, कॉलेज में, वेयर एवर दैट पर्सन इज। तो कंप्लायंस आपकी प्रोडक्ट की अगर अच्छी है, अगर रिजल्ट सेम भी है, तो द डॉक्टर विल चूज दैट। और अगर वो उसकी जो प्राइमरी चीज है, किसी भी एंटीबायोटिक को, किसी भी मेडिसिन को प्राइमरी जो यूज करता है डॉक्टर प्राइमरीली, दैट इज बीइंग यूज्ड टू ट्रीट द इन्फेक्शन। If in that you are having something big, like previously the antibiotic was having 65% results, now you are coming with an antibiotic which is having 98% results, then ultimately, even if the adverse effects are not adverse effect, if the compliance is little poor, doctor will go for the 98% product, because the results are more important than having a better or a medicine which is being taken twice. Yeah, adherence to compliance, as I shared with you, compliance is very important until the treatment difference or the result difference. Okay, when we evaluate all these things, हम segmentation कर लेते हैं, हम targeting कर लेते हैं, हम positioning कर लेते हैं कि what are the USPs, unique selling points of our product, where we will market our product. Positioning क्या होती है? How you want doctor to perceive your product in his mind against the competitor. कि आप अपनी product को as a first choice चाहते हैं कि वो establish हो, as a most compliant medicine हो, as a first choice medicine हो, तो वो आप अपनी positioning statement identify कर लेते हैं, उसके ऊपर campaign बनाते हैं, और फिर टारगेटेड सेगमेंट के अंदर टारगेटेड कस्टमर के साथ उसको मार्केट करना शुरू कर देते हैं थ्रू योर कैंपेन्स। ठीक है, अच्छा, अगेन फिर आप एक फ्लो चार्ट बना लेते हैं कि डायग्नोसिस कैसे होती है। अगर अपर रेस्पिरेटरी हो तो डॉक्टर क्या करता है, अगर लोअर रेस्पिरेटरी हो तो क्या करता है, क्या आपकी प्रोडक्ट हमेशा फर्स्ट चॉइस पे यूज होगी या कुछ इंडिकेशन में सेकंड चॉइस पे यूज होगी, आप एक उसका पूरा चार्ट बना। ओके, उसके बाद जब अभी सारा डाटा आपके पास आ जाता है, सिचुएशन एनालिसिस, ओवरव्यू, कस्टमर एनालिसिस, प्रिस्क्रिप्शन एनालिसिस डाटा, देन आप क्या करते हैं कि आप अपनी स्ट्रेटजी, आपने सेगमेंटेशन कर ली कि मैं किस सेगमेंट में प्रमोट करूंगा, आपने टारगेटिंग कर ली कि किस कस्टमर को प्रमोट करूंगा, देन आपको अपनी स्ट्रेटजी बनानी है। ठीक है, व्हाट वुड बी योर लाइक स्ट्रेटजी, और उस स्ट्रेटजी के लिए आपको चाहिए होता है स्वॉट एनालिसिस कि आपके पास क्या अपॉर्चुनिटीज है, क्या थ्रेट्स हैं, कि जो करंट कस्टमर है पेडिशन, करंट एटीट्यूड या बिहेवियर क्या है आप, currently he or she is using your product as a first choice, currently he or she is using product as a second choice, or at the sacred medicine, there are certain medication which doctor keep sacred. Okay, whenever this is very good antibiotic, when the patient will not get result with other antibiotic, then the patient will follow it. ठीक है, तो अब हमने क्या करना है कि जो हमारी प्रोडक्ट है उसके, let's consider that's an antibiotic, pasta, pediatrician. So what is the current attitude of pediatrician towards your product? Either he or she prescribe it as the first choice, or as a second choice, or as a sacred medication which he or she only. You are requested to mute your mic. Okay. अच्छा, अब क्या है कि like you are promoting a product which was launched 10 years back, it was having wonderful results, that's why people kept it sacred or spare for the resistant cases, but now it has been 10 years and two other molecules are being invented which are now being placed in the sacred as a sacred. आपको क्या करना होगा कि अब अपनी प्रोडक्ट को सेकंड लाइन से फर्स्ट लाइन, तो आपका डिजायर्ड चेंज इन बिहेवियर क्या है कि दैट यू वांट डॉक्टर्स टू कंसीडर योर प्रोडक्ट एज फर्स्ट चॉइस इंस्टेड ऑफ इट्स प्रीवियस पोजीशन एज सेकंड चॉइस। अच्छा, अब इस करने के लिए आपके पास अपॉर्चुनिटीज क्या है? द अपॉर्चुनिटीज में बी के, अच्छा अगेन, जो अपॉर्चुनिटीज, थ्रेट, स्ट्रेंथ और वीकनेस, इसमें जो अपॉर्चुनिटीज और थ्रेट्स हैं ये एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर्स, अपॉर्चुनिटीज और थ्रेट्स मार्केट में है, और जो स्ट्रेंथ और वीकनेस होती है वो आपके अपनी। Like your strength can be that your product is utilizing any particular manufacturing technique which no one else has, and your product's strength is that it's prescribed in OD dose and rest are prescribed in BD or TDS dose. That's your strength. Your field force has excellent penetration in pediatric segment. That's your strength. Or your weakness can be that your dosage compliance is maybe not good. You are promoting your product in BD dose whereas the competition is available in. Yeah, in certain cases, this is a new segment and your current field force is not having penetration. So strength and weakness is your own internal factor, your groups, your company factor. Opportunities and threats are in the market, like it's external factors. The opportunity is that your product is well established in the mind of doctor as the quality, efficacious medicine. So when you will try to discuss with them, when you will try to discuss with them that this product you're using this from maybe 1 decade, you have confidence on this. Now there are other medications which are being placed in the sacred medication segment, so you can use it as a first choice. So opportunity kya hai? The previous first choice, for example, previous first choice was any penicillin derivative, and that is now showing high resistance. The studies are showing that that is showing high resistance. So if that medication is now having high resistance, so this is an opportunity for you that you can easily replace that, and you can highlight the studies that this product which you like spared for 10 years will be beneficial for you, and now you can use it as a first choice. Okay, the threats could be like there is another medication which is also having good results and it's cost effective, or it's having better compliance, or there is another medication which is striving for being the first choice antibiotic. So ultimately, the threats can be from a competition, from competition field force, that in new segment there is another product which is already established and their field force is strong. So this is a threat for you from other company or competitor brand or other. Okay, so segmentation you have done, targeting you have done, and positioning now you are driving. That what should be your positioning. Previously, your positioning. Yeah, contraindication and adverse effect can be a threat, but contraindication and adverse effect can be a threat for a new product, because for your current product, its adverse effects, its everything is known. People have already used it for 10 years. Example, we are. But if you are having higher adverse effects, then ultimately it's very difficult to make that product a success. Okay, so positioning, now you will decide positioning right here, that which is the place where you are having like this place is empty, and now you want your doctor to perceive your product as a first line, first choice antibiotic, or as a first choice treatment for the treatment of diarrhea, or as a first choice sorry, anti-ulcerant. So according to that, you will make your positioning, how you want it to be perceived, and the positioning statement which will support what you want them to like perceive about. What about black box warning? Yeah, if there's a black box, Anam, you know that if there's a black box warning, then the doctor has to use that product with precaution. So these things are there with the product since beginning. If there is a new black box warning, ultimately that's a threat. There's a new black box warning that may result in decline of product, or if the doctor stop using product, then like if your product, then ultimately this is your own product's weakness. So this is an internal factor, and this will impact your sales. If your competitor got a black box warning and now that is being discontinued, now you are, because of that this discontinuation of that product, you have to place your product as the first choice, and this is an opportunity. Like that product is gradually emptying the market, so you can grab that area and you can change your positioning according to that. Okay, तो ये जो हमने स्ट्रेंथ, वीकनेस, अपॉर्चुनिटी और थ्रेट आपसे डिस्कस किया था कि स्ट्रेंथ और वीकनेस इंटरनल फैक्टर्स हैं. अच्छा, ओके, अगर आपका जो स्ट्रेंथ और वीकनेस है ये आपके इंटरनल फैक्टर्स हैं, आप उसको यहाँ पे मेंशन करते हैं, और जो आपकी अपॉर्चुनिटी और थ्रेट है वो आपका एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर है, वो आप बुलेट्स की सूरत में अपने ब्रांड टैन के अंदर यहाँ पे. आप ऊपर दो वर्ड्स देख रहे होंगे, स्वॉट और स्वॉक. तो स्वॉट क्या, स्ट्रेंथ, वीकनेस, अपॉर्चुनिटी, थ्रेट, या स्ट्रेंथ, वीकनेस, अपॉर्चुनिटी, चैलेंज. इनको ध्यान में रखते हुए आप अपनी स्ट्रेटजी को फाइनलाइज करें. ठीक है. अब नाउ दिस इज टाउस मैट्रिक्स. आपने क्या किया कि स्ट्रेंथ, वीकनेस, अपॉर्चुनिटी और थ्रेट को अलग अलग आपने लिख दिया, और देन उस स्ट्रेंथ, वीकनेस, अपॉर्चुनिटी और थ्रेट, इसको स्ट्रेंथ और वीकनेस को आपने एक्स एक्सिस पे लिखा, वाई एक्सिस पे आपने अपॉर्चुनिटी और थ्रेट. अब यहाँ पर आपकी स्ट्रेटजी बनी, योर ऑब्जेक्टिव. फॉर एग्जाम्पल आप नंबर 1 पे स्ट्रेंथ है आपकी एक, और नंबर 2 पे एक स्ट्रेंथ है आपकी, वीकनेस आपकी नंबर 1 पे है और नंबर 2 पे है। लाइकवाइज जो मार्केट की अपॉर्चुनिटी है वो नंबर 1 पे है और नंबर 2 पे है, और थ्रेट जो है नंबर 1 पे और नंबर 2। तो आपको शायद अपॉर्चुनिटी से पॉइंट नंबर 1, उस अपॉर्चुनिटी के मुताबिक आपकी प्रोडक्ट में एक स्ट्रेंथ है जो पॉइंट नंबर 2 पे लिखी हुई है, या अपॉर्चुनिटी में नंबर 2 पे, यहाँ देखिए आप, यू कैन सी दिस माउस, कि आपने अपॉर्चुनिटी जो है, अगर अभी कर्सर देख सकते हैं मेरा, कि स्ट्रेंथ में आपके नंबर 2 पे एक पॉइंट है जो नंबर 2 की अपॉर्चुनिटी को ग्रैब कर सकती है। तो आप 2 into 2 की एक स्ट्रेटजी यहाँ पे। तो लाइकवाइज हम टाउस मैट्रिक के जरिए अपनी स्ट्रेटजीज, पॉसिबल स्ट्रेटजी है वो यहाँ पे मैं, ठीक है। अच्छा, अब अगेन फिर वो आपने जो एक्स एक्सिस और वाई एक्सिस पे लिखा था उसको आप ऊपर से रिमूव कर देते हैं, और आपकी जो स्ट्रेंथ अपॉर्चुनिटी, वीकनेस अपॉर्चुनिटी, स्ट्रेंथ थ्रेट या चैलेंज और वीकनेस थ्रेट चैलेंज, 4 किस्म के आपके पास ऑप्शन आ जाते हैं, पॉसिबल स्ट्रेटजीज आ जाती हैं, जिसमें से आपको अपनी फाइनल स्ट्रेटजी सिलेक्ट करनी है, ठीक है। और उसमें से जो हाई प्रायोरिटी स्पॉट इश्यूज हैं आप उसको हाईलाइट करते हैं। अब मैंने जो टॉप टेक्निकल इश्यूज हैं वो नहीं लिखे। लेट्स कंसीडर, आप समझते हैं कि योर फील्ड फोर्स इज नॉट दैट मच स्किल्ड दैट दिस प्रोडक्ट इज बीइंग प्रमोटेड टू KOLs और की ओपिनियन लीडर्स, जो कि एक इंप्रेशन बनाते हैं प्रोडक्ट का। So but you may not be having any weakness in the product or its price, but your weakness can be your field force, but it's not well trained. So what you plan is that you plan their medical and skill training field force, or if like you are having less number of representative and the competitors is having high number of representative, their reach to doctors throughout Pakistan is high, so you may need to increase the number. Okay, so then your feeling about that is mentioned. Then gradually when you make this Taos metric, then strategy comes out, and maximum 1 to 3 strategies are being identified. Then according to that you plan the key success factor, a critical success factor. CSF means critical success factor. For example, better efficacy perception against competition. If your strength is your better efficacy and the competition is having less efficacy, you are having third party reference, just mentioned in the journals, just mentioned in the books. And what you do is that you try to highlight this through your literatures, your detailing, your webinars, your roundtable discussions, your focus group, your CMEs. Then all these are being planned to just convince your customer on the objective or the critical success factor that you have identified. It can be better safety, as was suggested by one of the participants. It can be better safety, it can be better compliance, it can be better training of your field force who is able to make better relation with the customer and like take their time, convince them more efficiently. And then KOL brick walling. What is KOL brick walling? You engage many consultants to highlight that efficacy, that superior point of your product to other doctors. Because whenever it's a third party reference, people believe it's good. Okay, what is the next step? Then जो आपने वो पॉइंट्स आइडेंटिफाई किए थे, अब आप उसमें से हर एक पॉइंट पे आप लेके आते हैं। सॉरी, फॉर एग्जांपल बेटर एफिकेसी परसेप्शन अगेंस्ट कंपटीशन। तो अब आप उसको करेंगे कैसे? मार्केट शेपिंग मैसेज क्या होगा? For example, RTI make up to 60% of oral antibiotics. In adults, RTI are the biggest cause of mortality and morbidity. So you will use these, and then you will not directly go to your product. You will try to make a campaign in which you will be highlighting the need, why this product is needed, then highlight and create doubt about the other product, like that is having a black box warning now, that is having adverse effect, that is being proven to be resistant, and then you highlight your superiority against that product in your technical promotional material. Highlighting with the support and evidence, you must be giving the reference of the study, that this study, this journal, this book is telling. So you can highlight top 3 to 5 actions that you will do in the field to establish this point in the mind of customers, that your product is better efficacious. Okay, then tactical plan. So the strategy is usually for 3 to 5 years, and tactical plan is only for this year. That what steps you will take this year to have share of mind, to establish your positioning in the mind of customer, and convert the doctor on your new position, your new strategy. So there, for example, better efficacy perception against competition. So करने के लिए आपको behavioral objective क्या होगा आपका? To gain the top share of customer mind for your position. जो आपने अपनी positioning बनाई है कि previously it was second choice, now I am promoting it as first choice. तो आपके tactical initiative क्या हो? Okay, like you will be highlighting it through studies. You will be sending studies to your field force, which will be shared with the doctor. These will be discussed with doctor in the presentations. These will be like key opinion leaders will be used to brief this to their ward doctors or junior doctors, where people will gradually start believing, looking at this data and the efforts you are doing, that your product can be used as a first choice. And this will be a shift in the positioning and shift in the growth. Okay, so tactical plan, I have just highlighted you in brief. When you will make a tactical plan, you will have to give its all details. Like it will be a roundtable discussion. I'll do it through literature, which studies I will use, how I will train the field force, what skill they will need to be developed, which skills they will need to present this to their customers. Okay, when you have your tactical plan, then there's costing of tactical plan. For example, you have given a forecast that looking at this factor, the current market growth is 20%, but looking as we are moving from second choice to first choice, so we'll be growing by 30%. On our current sales, if we add this 30%, then our next year forecast will be XYZ whatsoever. And for that, achieving that, for example, I have written here 698 million. So if it is 698 million, to achieve that 698 million, how much would you need to spend? And as you have made your tactical plan, for example, you need promotional budget value total, which is needed by you. For field force, product managers, sales managers, you will need to have incentive that I will incentivize the field force, the people who will show good results, I will incentivize them. What will be the total incentive which will be needed to achieve these results? Detailing ads, like you are using tablet, literature, and other detailing ads in which you are presenting your studies, in which you are highlighting your comparative data and making doctors believe that now your product can be used as first choice. So how much will this material be needed in the whole year and what will be its cost? If you are using prescription pads, that I'll be giving prescription pads, so they are remembering my product on every prescription. If you are increasing your samples or if you're maintaining your samples, how much cost will be spent there? If you be sending, giving any special giveaways, gifts or gimmicks, which are part of a campaign. For example, you will be celebrating occasions like Independence Day or Children Day, any particular disease day, infectious disease day, which will be tagged with your campaign. So which giveaways will be used, which material will be used, and how much will it cost. If you will be giving press ad campaigns, again, I shared with you that you cannot have your press ads in Dawn or the print media. You can have it in journals of medicine. You can have it in journals which are read, which are specific for doctors. Yeah, in current situation, it can be with the digital medium, but it can also be through one-to-one selling. Because in pharmaceutical we use personal selling, and if others are avoiding this, then it's an opportunity. But in a way that your field force is safe. Then social marketing campaign, societal marketing. सोसाइटल मार्केटिंग कैंपेन हम अगली क्लास में जरा डिटेल में डिस्कस करेंगे. मैंने व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में भी एक क्वेश्चन डाला था कि सोसाइटल मार्केटिंग कैंपेन आप फार्मास्यूटिकल इंडस्ट्री में हो सकती हैं या नहीं, और अगर हो सकती हैं तो आपके दिन में क्या आइडिया. सोसाइटल मार्केटिंग कैंपेन वो मार्केटिंग कैंपेन होती है जिसमें आप अपनी प्रोडक्ट को प्रमोट कर रहे होते हैं और उसके साथ साथ कुछ सोसाइटी का बेनिफिट भी कर रहे होते हैं. जैसे खासकर जो लोग कराची में तो जानते हैं ईबीएम कॉजवे. अब ईबीएम कॉजवे एक सड़क है जो कि बनाई और मेंटेन की है इंग्लिश बिस्किट पर, और उससे क्या होता है कि उनको उस सड़क के ऊपर फ्री एडवर्टाइजिंग का मौका मिलता है, लेकिन कम्युनिटी का एक बेनिफिट है कि उनको एक शॉर्टकट मिल गया, उनको एक अल्टरनेट रास्ता मिल गया. लाइकवाइज बहुत से लोग शहर की खूबसूरती में अपना रोल प्ले करते हैं कि प्लांटेशन कर देते हैं, तो इस प्लांटेशन से उनको एडवर्टाइजिंग का मौका भी मिलता है. लाइकवाइज इन मेडिकल इंडस्ट्री के अंदर आप कोई ऐसी कैंपेन इनिशिएट करते हैं जिसमें कुछ पेशेंट बेनिफिट हो रहा है. आपकी कैंपेन के नतीजे में पेशेंट को कोई फ्री टेस्ट मिल रहा है, आपकी कैंपेन के नतीजे में पेशेंट को फ्री मेडिसिन मिल रही है, या मिसाल के तौर पर न्यूट्रिशन प्रोडक्ट के अंदर ये होता है कि उसके अंदर से कूपन निकलता है जिससे आपकी अगली बॉक्स आपको हाफ प्राइस पे मिलता है, या आप जो है वो फ्री डायग्नोस्टिक सर्विसेज दे रहे हैं, फ्री कैंप्स कर रहे हैं. समथिंग इन व्हिच यू आर प्रोमोटिंग योर प्रोडक्ट, बट एट द एंड ऑफ द डे द पेशेंट और एंड यूजर इज आल्सो हैविंग अ बेनिफिट. सोसाइटल मार्केटिंग कैंपेन. एडी कैंपेन्स बहुत थी, मतलब रिसेंटली वन ऑफ द कंपनी हैड अ कैंपेन जिसके अंदर आप जानते हैं कि जो हमारे यहाँ हॉस्पिटल्स के अंदर जो वेस्ट है उसको प्रॉपर्ली डिस्पोज ऑफ नहीं किया जाता। हॉस्पिटल वेस्ट में जहाँ पर इन्फेक्शियस मटेरियल होता है, जहाँ पे ह्यूमन ब्लड या फ्लूइड्स होते हैं या वो मटेरियल यूज होता है जिसका ह्यूमन फ्लूइड से इंटरेक्शन होता है, उनको अलग तरीके से डिस्पोज ऑफ करना होता है। येलो बॉक्सेज यूज होते हैं, यहाँ शार्पनर्स होते हैं, नीडल्स होती हैं, या ब्लड से इन्फेक्टेड जो है इन्फेक्टेड या कॉन्टेक्टेड मटेरियल होता है उसके लिए अलग रेड बिन्स यूज होती हैं, और जो आपका म्यूनिसिपैलिटी गार्बेज है उसके लिए अलग बिन्स होती हैं। तो रिसेंटली अ कंपनी हैड कैंपेन दैट दे इंस्टॉल्ड these kind of bins in the hospital. They created awareness of hygiene among doctors, among patients, staff. So this campaign gave them an opportunity to penetrate in the ward, to meet with the customers, and gave a positive impression that you are you care about the patient's well-being and you care about the hygiene. And again, maybe this product was used in, for example, yeah, incineration box. This product is being promoted for patient with diarrhea. So what you are highlighting that if your hygienic condition is good, if the patient keeps their hand clean, and they will not suffer from diarrhea. So that campaign should have a link with your product. Of if that product is, for example, used in surgical to prevent surgical infection, then the benefit would be if the environment is clean, if hygiene is properly maintained, then there are less chances of post-operative surgery. So these should have a link with your product. Okay. Then there are several other campaigns in which, for example, अगर मैं फार्मा से हट के कहूँ तो अगर फार्मा से हट के कहूँ तो जो है वो I guess Ariel ने ये campaign की कि on sale of every bag we will donate ₹1 to the orphan home. So ultimately they are promoting their product, their sale will increase and they will donate for orphan. Likewise, in pharmaceutical, some campaigns were made where a specific donation was given to children with the special children, and their painting were used to promote company's annual calendar. So what they did, they made a calendar, they highlighted their campaign on it, and in return, children with special abilities or special children, they got some finance in that. Maybe that those drawings the children made were not those artistic as a normal artist made, but ultimately they gave a feeling to the customer that this company take cares of this segment of. So what you do, and then conferences, medical conferences, you can participate in medical events, you can conduct CME. Through these events, you also promote your positioning, your brand, and this is usually the final document of brand 10. Excellent. I did this for COVID testing. So these are societal marketing where whatever you are doing is contributing towards society. We spend a lot of money in campaigning and branding. So if your branding is returning something to the patient or the community, then it's always being appreciated. You know that in international community now there are certain sprays, there are deodorants and perfumes which have just mentioned that it has ozone friendly. You know that the gas which is available in these cans can be dangerous for ozone layer. But if it's written over it that it's a ozone friendly gas and it's the same product with some high price, because people are like conscious about their society, people are conscious about global warming. So these are the things which are CFC. So these are societal marketing. Okay. So this was today's class. Now your assignment is that you have to make a brand plan with a product of your choice, preferably a pharmaceutical product. And if you are like fresh, then in that case you can use a product for which you can have data from the medical stores around you, or you can have data on the net like painkillers, Panadol, mefenamic acid, like ibuprofen, like painkiller gels. You can choose a product for which you can have data on internet. Like if you will choose any antibiotic or anti-specific prescription item, in that case maybe you will have a difficulty in arranging the data. If you can arrange the data, that would be wonderful. Otherwise, you can use a dummy data. and you have to make a brand plan with all the ingredients we discussed today. We will also be posting the video of today's presentation. So if you miss anything, you can get it from there. That's end of today's presentation. I'll be waiting for your assignments, and out of all assignments, we'll be discussing one or two top brand plans made by you the coming. Thank you very much. If you have any question, you can raise hand. ओके द सेशन मुझे जो है वो नॉर्मली हम 1 से 1.5 घंटे का सेशन प्लान करते हैं, लेकिन जाहिर है कि जब मतलब ऐसा नहीं कर सकता कि सेशन को फास्ट करके खत्म करूं। आई ट्राई कि जो मैंने प्लान किया है आपको पढ़ाने के लिए या सिखाने के लिए, जो स्किल्स आपकी डेवलप करने के लिए, तो अपना एजेंडा पूरा करूं। So I try my best in doing that. Now you can ask any individual questions to me on WhatsApp. You all have my WhatsApp number. Any question which can be beneficial for the group, you can ask that in WhatsApp group we have. So other can also be benefited with your question. And if you have any specific question, you can send that to me on WhatsApp, and I'll reply to that after my replies. Okay. Thank you very much. See you in next class.